The nationwide COVID-19 lockdown is likely to be extended for a third time beyond the 17th of May, but more restrictions may be eased in areas that are not severely affected, is what government sources are now telling NDTV following that online meeting between Prime Minister Modi and state chief ministers. Restrictions like a night curfew and curbs on public transport could well continue in designated red zone areas. States have also asked for several changes. But for more on that, let's go across to Sunil Prabhu, breaking that story. Sunil, what are we hearing beyond what was already talked about in the statement that was released by the Prime Minister's office following that meeting yesterday?
Well, Ankita, three important points. One, of course, as you pointed out, there will be an extension of the lockdown, but this will be confined to red zones, while chief ministers, including the city where we live in, Delhi, had been arguing that it should be confined to only containment zones and hotspot areas, not designate the entire city as a red zone. So it's in that context that there might be some differences of opinion, and that is why the Prime Minister has asked chief ministers to give their opinion on the reclassification, on the exit policy, on schools and colleges, and various other aspects. So definitely a lot of points that had been raised. The lockdown, of course, as you rightly said, will be continuing, but it will be far less than what it was in the first. As the Prime Minister himself, to quote his words, said, it will be different from what it was in the first and the second and the third and now in the fourth. So this will be a gradual resumption of economic activity. I think everybody across the board, the political divide, wanted economic activity to be started. Some, of course, as you saw, having differences of opinion on the train services that are starting. For example, states like Telangana and Tamil Nadu who didn't want trains to run in their state. And just to keep our viewers informed who are watching NDTV, that those who are going to those states need to ensure that protocol has been followed. So a lot of back and forth between states as well as the Prime Minister, in particular Mamata Banerjee, who led from the front on the confrontation, on the saying that there is a attempt to do politics, right. And also saying that it should be left to the states to decide, not a center, a top-down approach, right. That is taking place, be it on reclassification of red zones or how they want to fight this coronavirus. But all in all, we are going to see an extension of the lockdown, but with a lot of relaxations, and it may be confined only to hotspot and containment zone areas.